家四将只跟上来了一个，要不要等等？
大军压境，我只看到大
人家什么时候钓鱼和谁？
哎呀，等你长大了，真恐怖！
见哪吒来救我呀！不及时，要不然咱们都得摔死。
没想到你父亲也赶紧。
魔力奇的进来，不。奇袭作案，偷袭得逞，士气正盛。
我今天将。
这莫非
天尊的法力变化出这3。快去帮着呢！
没办法再离开，我的身体很困。
拼了一辈子，毁于一旦。找到你了！一剑未放，
我只是认输。
你没有资格跟我谈条威。
太师，
西岐
只有反贼才会为自己。
北
防
已经投降。
是替你父亲打的，英雄，你不想学？
我只记得父亲说过，他的耻辱。
大胆！
舅舅，为了邓家的生命，
绝不杀平民百姓。
太子殷郊杀了我，诛其灭子啊！跪下，效忠于，最多被人骂愚忠，我宁可于忠。居民，我暂且留你。若你再敢踏入，
我是殷郊，可我的父亲杀了我，杀了我的母亲，
取走了我的法力，变成，否则终有一天再是你自己。
住手！
是希望你重回人间，为此他牺牲了以后的希望。但愿你
报仇！
切记，
道人着实因在此宝物，
我主管只能帮你。
任你驱使。
姜文焕，我把你们关入地牢。今天，我给你们一个
永远效忠大王。轮算得了什么？你们有恐？直觉者护身。 起，不允勇士。老
之光全无，妙啊！
箭手上前！
大家千万别被光照到，性命还在，
得想个办法。
人当其兆，魂显皆亡。能破吗？法坛所在，你们敢？一定要守住城门呐！
不能过去！让百姓都做你西蒙夫！一个都不留！
水蹲着，敌人水人，这俩东西。
城外实在太黑了，什么也看不见。
隐去了行踪。
稳重，稳重。
快点远离门窗，往里走。
我就再给你一次命。你身上不就能进去了吗？我可以帮你演一出戏。 我的身子不能这么没用啊！雷震子，小心见光！雷震子，进去！
人长得和睁眼，
Let's watch the summary of Creation of God, Episode 2, Demon Fox. Everyone, the story begins on Mount Kunlun. All the gods are gathered after Naza and Yang Jian brought Yin Chao's corpse, the son of King Su, there, to ask the gods on Mount Kunlun for help. At that moment, Naza begins to pressure the gods, saying that if they can't help, they should say so quickly, because there isn't much time. Yang Jian also forbade Naza from arguing and asked the gods to help Yin Chao, but among all the gods, some told the god Chanzun, or the Jade Emperor, that resurrecting the dead is against the natural order and will inevitably cause misfortune. Then the Jade Emperor examined Yin Chao's body and reviewed his past actions. After reviewing, the Jade Emperor said that Yin Chao was the last hope of the Chinese royal family, capable of becoming an emperor who could prevent war, or at least appoint gods and Taoist masters. He was the hope of both the human world and heaven. Then the Jade Emperor began to perform the ritual to resurrect Yin Chao, but shortly after, other gods told the Jade Emperor that Yin Chao was absorbing the god's energy. He would soon absorb it all. At that time, the Jade Emperor did not stop the ritual, willingly sacrificing his own energy, causing his hair to turn white. Yin Chao, meanwhile, was full of self-doubt. Back in the royal palace, General Winsong, whose people, the Shang Dynasty Emperor's subjects, had been missing for 10 years, returned from the Northern Sea War, bringing 4 generals with him. When Winsong met King Su, he returned his seal of office. But King Su was worried about his injuries from the war with Jiwa, so he explained what happened and placed the blame on Jiwa, who had attempted to assassinate the king and had been plotting a rebellion. Su ordered Winsong to go to Ziking to apprehend Jiwa, but at that time, Winsong resigned, claiming that he was old and tired. Upon hearing this, Su was enraged, but the king whispered different words to his advisor, who then said to Winsong that if Winsong was no longer loyal to the kingdom, the king would not force him. The Shang dynasty had fallen, regardless of the king's popularity with the people. Upon hearing this, the female general, Teng Changji, decided to accept the mission. Teng Changji was the daughter of General Teng Jige, who had trained her in warfare since childhood and whom she wished to emulate. Upon hearing this, the king called Teng Changji closer. Teng Changji stated that she would set out with 500 cavalry and 4 generals. If she failed to capture Jiwa, she would die. The king then gave Teng Changji her battle attire and sent her to fight for the Shang dynasty. When Teng Changji put on her armor, she showed it to the 4 giants, and the 4 giants and their armies began to roar. Back in Shichang, after Ji Chang's death, on the day of his funeral, the king sent a representative to meet Jiwa and confront him before Ji Chang's memorial tablet. This was because they knew the king would kill everyone. After Jiwa's prior rebellion, the king's representative also confirmed with Jiwa if he had seen the king die. Jiwa replied, "Indeed, I killed the king with my own hands." Upon hearing this, the representative showed Jiwa a box containing Yin Chao's head and sword, the sword that had beheaded Yin Chao. The king's representative ordered Jiwa to commit suicide. Give it to the people others without fail at the time and number of Sensi plan to danger replaces Jiwa. That's why he shouted so loudly and declared he would kill them for thermobute Jiwa al-Suffer Bait. After that day, the general Ting Changyi planned to travel across the bridge towards the land off sea jet near the bridge off the river. People al-Sabul the bridge and planned Tetsang songs joyfully. They didn't know that the general was trying to kill the people in the people stronger. When they saw General Ting Changyu as a woman, they planned Tetsang songs and played Jacques Nose high in the air. But at that time, the soldiers also put a rope on Oni personas for Ting Changyi forbade it and told them to sing continue and sing faster and faster. But under Jiwa, What was hiding near Bielso came out and shouted that they were who they were and Jiwa's soldiers planted to the bridge so that Ting Changyi's troops fell into the water owned by Anius for the four who were large. Also gathered their soldiers back to Lanto Savath, and when the soldiers saw Jiwa rode their horse escaped. From there Ting Changyi's troops also rode their horses in pursuit until they reached a large mountain pass, but the giant who went with Ting Changyi was only one without delay. They pursued Jiwa further. When they reached the front, Jiwa shouted for them to surrender on the mountaintop, but Ting Changyi shouted back that it was Jiwa who should surrender than the Jauntus the war sword. The Medmoli Cheng to fight with Jiwa soldiers fought with Sensius for Sench at that time, also used lightning on the war sword at that time. The Jaunt also supported Jiwa's soldiers son by one when he saw such an uncomfortable situation. Jiwa shot an arrow upwards to signal his troops to retreat as for when pursuing them from behind, because the mountain pass ahead was too narrow they couldn't enter asterisk inside it then. When Ting Changyi rode her Herseto pursue and killed Jiwa for the Jiwa rushed towards Ting Changyan. Below was a very high cliff as for Ting sword Changyi. It only made Jiwa's head hit with a thunder, then Ting Chang used the thunder weapon Medicong to fight with Jiwa further. It made Jiwa fall off his horse when Ting Chang grabbed Jiwa was on horseback. Suddenly they fell into the ravine. Both of them when they fell to the bottom because they weren't hurt by them, both of them were still alive. When Jiwa gained consciousness before Ting Chang grabbed Jiwa's hand tight libbed his own hand didn't kill him yet, as for Jiwa at that time took the thunder to kill Ting Changyi, but he didn't dare to kill her. Then when Jiwa let go of Ting's hand, Changyi Ting Changyi gained consciousness and fought with Jiwa. Again, as for that fighting, Changyi defeated Jiwa by using the stick to beat Jiwa to death at night. When Ting Changyi tied Jiwa up above a, Jiwa came to tell the truth about the king what he had done, but Ting Changyi didn't want to listen and did it. Ting Changyi retorted that we should believe in betrayal immediately. When Wild Boar ran and hit Ting Changyi, Jiwa shouted and told Ting Changyi to let him go. Could help, but Ting Changyi remained firm and didn't let go completely. Then when Wild Boar madeth tree fall, Jiwa fell to the bottom and escaped from the bunch. When the Wild Boar tried to kill Ting Changyi, then Jiwa went to help, and when the Wild Boar into hit Ting Changyi for Ting Changyi used her Yukon Thunder weapon to kill the Wild Boar successful, and when Ting Changyi got up from the Wild Boar to look for Jiwa further, Jiwa fell in the tree and escaped from Harian Mal. Looked for his lover this time. He also went to fish alone by the water. When he caught a fish, let it go and return it. At that time crows of the pavilion flew past there in large numbers and scary, and then when they saw the lover on the thunder, they flew to grab the lover and took him. Then the lover shouted for Nanjian and young Shan to come and help him, but at that time Jiwa came to help instead. When he helped, Jiwa told Yang's lover to leave from there because Jiwa had ordered it to abandon CG and go to Mount Shi. Jiwa would stay and protect them. When he knew Yang's lover wanted Jiwa to abandon the city, CG completely Jiwa shouted back that Jiwa's army was not a rival with the king's army. Jiwa didn't want to be leader in the city. It was said at that time, the fiancé raised an eyebrow and said to Jiwa that there is a way to bring the appointment to him and give it to the king. That Jiwa should not ascend to the throne again in the kingdom. At that time, Jiwa sided with the fiancé, and he shouted that he would absolutely not give the appointment to the king. The fiancé replied that Jiwa was not a fool. If there were no opponents to King Su, King Su would surely control the entire earth. Jiwa replied that the king only needed him. He didn't want to let others in. Jiwa abandoned himself, causing his family to die. And Zixi fell into war. He didn't want anyone else to die because of him. The fiancé replied that King Su was the killer, not Jiwa. If Jiwa died, the earth would surely become King Su's. That's even more wrong. How can those still alive live? If Jiwa willingly dies because he thinks he is wrong, he cannot be a living person. For Zixi, when the speech ended, Licenzi also flew to that place. And the fiancé thought it was a strange creature of the pall, which made him change greatly. Turning to look at the paw, after their failure in capturing the fiancé, a crow flew and told the paw more news. King Su also dreamed of control since childhood. When the prince entered the palace, fearing King Su, his father took another son and fled inside. When King Su hid the fire throughout the rain, and said that because they had to kill everyone, they could not hurt the king anymore. King Su replied that as a king, he thought that no one could do anything, but now it's out of love. Sodakai replied that with her by his side, he would not die. The king would remain under the rain for generations to come. Sodakai told her Bodhi to the king, and only 49 more days, the king would surely be happy. At that time, King Su did not want Sodakai to play like that anymore, willingly giving it to someone else. At the same time, the paw also arrived to tell that the appointment was in Shi. At that time, King Su was very angry and found a way to get the appointment. As for Licensi, he flew to take the fiancé and Jiwa back to Zixi's land. At the same time, Jiwa's army acted swiftly. In their homeland to protect their land from invasion. When everyone saw them to return, everyone was very happy, and Sang Yizing said, Sichi was rescued, and everyone refused to leave Mount Sichi completely, to fight to the end. The country saw everyone's spirit. And Jiwa said that the king only needed him. He didn't want anyone else to die because of him. Everyone retorted that Sichi was everyone's home, so everyone must protect it. Sang Yizing asked Sangxia, is Jia an angel? Sangxia replied that he had been an angel before. Immediately, all the kings knew that everything had already departed from there, with many troops and for more giants. Sang Yizing continued to ask Sangxia, if you were truly an angel, do you know any arts? Sangxia replied that now he only knows how to fish. At that time, Sang Yizing was very angry, and replied that the enemy had arrived. What good is knowing how to fish? Sangxia replied that he did not see the enemy coming, only large fish. Upon hearing this, Jiwa asked Sangxia, when is fishing good? Sangxia replied that it's best at night. King Su, at night, secretly entered the camp. The commander of the army intended to steal the war sword named Mali Cheng from the giant. At that time, while the giant was asleep, Cizan also sneaked inside and tried to steal the heaviest war sword. But when he took it, the giant woke up and tried to retrieve the war sword. Jiwa's troops returned to the battle and entered inside. Gradually as they entered, but the mind had already decided, they fired flaming arrows at Tang Changyi's camp. Then, when the soldiers went to tell Tang Chang Yi in the camp, Tang Changyi was not at all afraid and ordered the soldiers to remain silent and do nothing, which greatly surprised the soldiers. As for the giant, when he ordered his troops to return, he still could not control them. So he chased after Ling Xinxi again. Tang Changyi still forbade her soldiers from chasing them, and continued to range the troops according to plan. At that time, the troops chasing Ling Xinxi reached a large encampment, and Jiwa's troops came out and fired at the giant. When it hit his eye, Ling Xinxi flew up and dropped something into the giant's mouth, killing him instantly. After they successfully ambushed the troops according to the orders of Sangjia, everyone praised Sangjia greatly, but Sangjia said that was just a small fish. Tang Changyi was the big fish. Everyone didn't have a good chance at it second time. They felt great pity for Jiwa when the soldiers engaged in a fierce battle. Then, when Jiwa prepared his troops to wage war against the commander Tang Changyi, the soldiers told Tang Changyi that last night Jiwa had ambushed them. They feared that they had more tricks up their sleeves, but Tang Changyi was still unafraid and continued to wage war, at which point she struck the gong, leading the Furjonsto charge into battle against Jiwa's troops. Jiwa's troops were also ready and fired at Tang Changyi's troops. The three giants used parasols called Malahon to deflect all the attacks. At that time, Leng Xinshi flew to one of the parasols, but the parasol deflected the attacks back to Jiwa's troops. So Jiwa ordered his troops to retreat. Then the three giants told the truth, using fire and parasols to kill more of Jiwa's troops. Indeed, Jiwa retreated. Leng Xinshi flew to block all the fires so Jiwa wouldn't get hit. Seng Jia yelled at the soldiers to raise the bridge to block the passage. At the same time, Tang Changyi rode a horse, leaped from behind, and grabbed Jiwa, causing both of them to fall into the water. When they fell into the water, Jiwa and Tang Changyi continued to fight underwater. At that time, Jiwa killed Tang Changyi in the water, and, because his heart was unsettled, he pulled her back up. The giant used a grappling hook called Makuto break open Jiwa's camp gate. He also managed to get past the inner gate and killed Jiwa's soldiers one by one. He killed a number of Jiwa's soldiers. Suddenly, someone killed the giant. The rescuer was Yin Chao, who had a 3-in-1 appearance. There were also different voices speaking. Professor and Yang Jian also flew there. They told their teacher who that person was. Then Yin Chao fought the three giants. Sangxia worried that Yin Chao couldn't win, but Professor and Yang Jian said that he would definitely win. Then, in their country, they continued to fight. Yin Chao defeated the three giants. So Sangxia said that Sich was saved. The professor called out to stop Yin Chao from killing the three giants because they were gods. But Yin Costal didn't listen and killed the giant. When Jiwa helped Tang Changyi didn't recognize him. Jiwa told Tang Changyi to surrender to him. At that time, he took off Tang Changyi's clothes and examined her body. And he told her to take him to King Su. Tang Changyi also asked about the reasons for his surrender. Jiwa explained that he had served the king for a long time. He had conquered the city of Inju. Now it was time for his home to be destroyed. He didn't want the people to die like in Inju. When things weren't over, Tang Changyi attacked Jiwa from behind and killed him in order to take him to King Su. Then Tang Changyi took Jiwa along. Jiwa jokingly said, General Tang, you're ambushing me from behind. Don't worry, I'm not running anywhere. And he hoped to help Sich soon. Tang Changyi replied that Jiwa should surrender quickly. So no one would die because of him. Jiwa replied that he died because he was defending his home. Does Tang Changyi have a home? Tang Changyi replied that she grew up on the battlefield. Since childhood, she didn't have a home to live in. Only she was left of her family. One day, she would die like her father on the battlefield. To protect her family, Jiva retort that both of them are fighting for their family. Jiva further asked Tang Changyi what their differences are. Tang Changyi retorted that twins because Jiva fights for the living but Tang Changyi fights for the dead in the evening. Tang Changyi started to feel in Welsh went to see King Su and Suudajin. Then went to kill a beautiful maidservant. Afterward, Suudajin gave a fruit to a young girl to allow her body to live on. When the girl ate the fruit and died, Suudajin entered her body. But the opposite happened. Suudajin could not leave the girl's body. She was stuck there. Suudajin also told the king that her power is almost going and she will be trapped in the old body forever. Meanwhile, Mr. Wilson followed the king's orders and searched for a way to capture Jiva and kill her. Meanwhile, after Tang Changyi captured Jiva, she took Jiva to Mr. Wilson's camp. After meeting Mr. Wilson, Jiva insisted that they are not wrong because they surrendered themselves to prevent the king from killing more innocent people. They came there to negotiate. Mr. Wilson retorted that there's nothing to negotiate anymore. The Shikai people must give up and not be captured. Jiva retorted that Shikai people have not given up. Wilson didn't know this at all. Jiva could hardly believe that Mr. Wilson was such a person. He was once a famous and renowned person on the battlefield, but now he serves a bad person. Wilson retorted that even if he becomes a dog, he will gladly serve the great king. When Tang Changyi told Mr. Wilson that now that Jiva has surrendered, he should stop killing the Shikai people. Wilson gave in, but not without hesitation. And he said Tang Changyi has failed. He is very hopeless about destroying the Ten Clans family. Now, he is protecting a traitor. Tang Changyi retorted that remembered what her father said, killing innocent people is a grave sin in life. Mr. Wilson retorted Fate will not spare any of the people. It is the king's order. He must do it absolutely. Tang Changyi retorted that only kills enemies, not innocent people. At night, when the soldiers took Jiva to prison, unexpectedly, upon learning this, Mr. Wilson escaped. Yin Chao became this way. Yin Chao explained painfully that because his father killed Yin Chao's entire family, colluding with the Jin demons to gain power. But Mr. Wilson serves the evil king. Wilson retorted they fights to protect the great king and cannot obey Yin Chao. He must obey King Suo's orders. If he doesn't obey, then he's a traitor. He would rather be blind in one eye than obey a traitor. In the evening, Yin Chao was very angry and did not kill Mr. Wilson. He spared his life and let him return. He carried a message to King Suo that Yin Chao has returned to take revenge. If anyone dares to step into Shikai territory, they will be killed. After delivering the message, Yin Chao left. Meanwhile, when Tang Changyi took Jiva back to Shikai territory, Jiva told Tang Changyi that if she releases Jiva, she will be punished. What she regrets most is that she didn't die on the battlefield with her father. Jiva will have the opportunity to die on the battlefield for her family and her land. Then, they arrived at the Shikai refuge. Her lover thanked Tang Changyi for helping to release Jiva. When Tang Changyi was about to leave, Jiva stopped her, because she has nowhere to stay. If she goes back, it's like sending her to death. Then, Yin Chao returned. He changed his appearance back to normal and hugged Jiva with longing. Then, he recalled the past. When Indra asked Yin Chao if he wanted to remember who he was, Yin Chao replied Thade wants to remember everything, especially what his father did. He wants to remember it all without gaps. Indra explained that Yin Chao's hatred kept him alive. Yin Chao's hatred protected him and absorbed the elemental power from Indra. From now on, the automaton must control itself. If it cannot be controlled, then it is no longer itself. When fast, the automaton still willingly wants to rage, and has transformed into 3 bodies merged together. Meanwhile, the Emperor tells the automaton further that it must retrieve the appointment letter, because only the automaton is the last hope, especially since Sixi needs the automaton to help save. When he imagined, Jiwa also returned the automaton's sword to him, with the automaton saying, if one day the automaton can no longer control itself, no longer recognizes itself, Jiwa must raise that sword, to remind him. When fast, Jiwa raised the sword and sang with the automaton. At that time, the automaton also said, he admires Jiwa very much, who fights for family and land, but the automaton has no family anymore, only enemies. Jiwa replied, in their country, they won the war with Lord Wensong, and they will unite to defeat King Su. They will get that sword for King Su. The automaton replied, he wants it for King Su with his own hands. As for Su Daji, her beauty becomes worse and worse, and she doesn't want the king to see her face anymore. But the king told Su Daji that the wounds on her body are because of the king. She suffers because of the king. Su Daji replied, the king can choose a more beautiful concubine. King Su replied, Su Daji is the most beautiful woman. No one can replace her. Immediately, when a servant brought the torn stomach cloth inside, and dropped the cloth to the ground, the king killed her. because he didn't want to see Sudaji's beauty. At this time, then the servant brought Lord Wensong's message, letting the king know that the automaton, King Su's son, is still alive, and asking for forgiveness for the automaton as well, because he is King Su's heir. Upon seeing the message, King Su became very angry, and sent a message back. When Prince Sixi is gone, he will return the appointment letter. The king agreed to pardon the automaton. As for Sudaji, she asked King Su, why did the king pardon the automaton? The king replied, because he still obeys the automaton's orders. Wait until he gets the appointment letter, then the king will kill him afterwards. Turning to the place of the ghost soldiers. The ghost soldiers' master went to the ghost soldiers, who were shirking their work, but the ghost soldiers asked for forgiveness from their master and begged for a final pardon. At that time, the master of the ghost soldiers gave a jug of water to the ghost soldiers to continue working. As for King Su, he also called the army together and forgave them for their betrayal of the king in the past, but the king asked them to reaffirm their loyalty to the king. At that time, the king had the ghost soldiers use the jug of water to sprinkle on the snakes, hundreds of heads, on all the soldiers. To control all those soldiers. When all the controlled soldiers are killed, all those soldiers dissolved again, which is the form of ghost soldiers. To fight against Jiwa's army. The ghost soldiers also told King Su that all those soldiers fear nothing. They only obey the king's orders. Everyone gathered and had fun together. They drank to celebrate their victory in the war with King Su. Afterwards, in their country, they took the wine to share and drink. Yangzi used his axe to split the wood into pieces to prepare to light a fire that night, and Lesensi used his flint to light a fire. When the fire was lit, many women shared wine with Jiwa's army, drinking with love, including a couple while we're getting married. Yang Jin told a woman who loved him faith is a god. He cannot drink wine, but when that woman fell, she kissed Yang Jin. As for Song Xian, he told the automaton that it is how people should live. The automaton replied, he will help Jiwa defeat the king. Song Xian replied, he knows the automaton's heart wants to help Jiwa, but cannot be impulsive at this time, must lead people according to heaven's will. Think big and long term, go far to take King Su's head, punish the wicked, seek justice for the good. As the king of the world needs all of that. When he heard, the automaton gave his son to Song Xian. As for Changjin, when she was dressed as a woman, she was very shy, and when she looked in the mirror, she was even more shy. At that time, the dresser told Changjin that to take her master as her husband. His shear is also single. When he heard, and Ting Changyi did not respond at all. Following, Ting Changyi came out and sat next to a girl. Suddenly Song Jia saw a tattoo on Ting Changyi's body. It was strange. So she tried to look again and again. The girl called Ting Changyi outside. They danced together again. In the dance circle, Jiwa also danced. They danced together and looked at each other. Then, when Song Jia went to Ting Changyi to look at the tattoo on her body again, the girl also offered Song Jia a dance. At the same time, Mr. Wilson here also told a method, called the 10 formations. To use that method to protect his army, before preparing to fight with Jiwa's army. At that time, they drank the water that Mr. Wilson had made. When they drank it, there was a tattoo on their neck, just like Ting Changyi. Then Mr. Wilson told the 10 large mirror troops to fly up and absorb the moonlight into Mr. Wilson's third eye, which made that night have no moonlight at all. To prepare to fight with Jiwa's army that night. Later, when they didn't see the moonlight, they became very curious and, upon encountering them, became curious and shot fire arrows forward. They suddenly saw Mr. Wilson's army rushing their. So they declared war and prepared their troops for battle. Then, upon encountering them, They prepared troops to resist Mr. Wilson's army. Wilson also used his third eye to look at all those mirror troops and show Naji was camped from one place to another. When the troops or people touched all that light, they would faint and lose consciousness. It couldn't be resisted. As for Ling Shenxi, he kept dodging those mirrors in the air again and again, but he couldn't dodge them, no matter how hard he tried. And the light of the mirror was getting colder, but he flew away from there. In time. Song Jia, when she saw that, Song Shio went to see and knew that it was one of the 10 death formations. To avoid that formation, he must find the location of Mr. Wilson's ceremony that counts that formation to see it. And Song Jia told the people to escape from all that light. Then, when Mr. Wilson's army arrived at Jiwa's gate, they used large pieces of wood to smash the gate and entered, successfully killing many of Jiwa's troops. One by one, among them were the palace guards. At that time, they threw oil to kill Mr. Wilson's troops at the last breath. Upon encountering Jiwa, he came to see and, with arrows, to help other troops. He was stopped, with Jiwa being brought inside for safety. At the same time, more fires flew into Jiwa's camp and hit Jiwa's camp from one place to another. As for the people, when they were hit by the mirror light, they started to lose consciousness, one by one. When Mr. Wilson's army entered, they shouted that they must kill them all, without exception. Then, upon encountering Jiwa, he went to fight with all those troops. Ling Shenxi came to help, while Ting Changyi rode a horse to help a girl from the mirror light. Song Jia, when he was attacked by Mr. Wilson's army, was panicked. He shouted for Najia and Yang Jian to come help him. When he didn't see the two of them come to help, he used water to extinguish all those troops and shouted for Yang Jian again and again. Suddenly, the two of them flew and arrived. To help Song Jia. Song Jia started to understand the truth. The truth was that Ting Changyi worked for Mr. Wilson. If Ting Changyi caught Song Jia alive along with the Imperial Seal, then Mr. Wilson would pardon everyone. Mr. Wilson only needed the Imperial Seal and Song Jia. When night gathered, Ting Changyi drank Mr. Wilson's water. To have a tattoo on his neck. Song Jia, when he knew that Ting Changyi wanted Song Jia and Song Shio and to find a place to pretend to be dead so that Ting Changyi could take him. Wilson. At that time, Song Jia placed a sword at his waist to pretend to be dead. And Ting Changyi came to see and casually looked at the people, old and young, men and women here, and also feared and entered to escape from all that mirror light. But at that time, the light was still shining, so Najia used his large cloth to block all that mirror light, protecting the people, while Yang Jian dug the ground from one place to another. To help the people. Among them was a woman who secretly loved him. A little later, Najia's cloth couldn't resist the mirror light for long, which caused his cloth to tear little by little. And upon encountering the troops rushing to kill the people, he used his hands to fight with all those troops, while Changyi was apprehending Zhang Xiao, according to the agreement. And she was strong because she worked for Wensong under the condition of 3 days and no killing of people. When Wensong heard this, he didn't cry and only praised Changyi, saying that Changyi's father would be proud. Changyi then threatened Wensong that if he didn't withdraw his troops and didn't completely revoke the appointment, Wensong replied that if the sky starts to brighten, those who must hear the glass shattering will die. He confronted and obeyed the king's orders completely. When Changyi heard this, she was furious and sent the appointment back to Sang Xia and told Sang Xia to return, but in fact, it was Sang Xia's trick. Sang Xia had already given the appointment to Jiwa. As for the box containing the appointment, it was just a ruse to shoot upwards, telling Jiwa the location of Wensong's ceremony. Sang Xia also told Jiwa to stop Wensong only by capturing Wensong's third eye. At the same time, Jiwa knew where Wensong's ceremony was, and he immediately rode his horse there. and he also encountered the glass shattering from Yin Zhao when the fire flew. The fire was also stopped initially, with Yin Zhao giving Jiwa some time, and Yin Zhao allowed Jiwa to go to Li Senzi to escape further shattering and flew to Winsong's ceremony. But when Winsong saw him, he used his animal to kill Sang Xiao immediately. At that time, it hit Sang Xiao against a rock. Chang Yi went to help Sang Xiao, but her sword couldn't kill the animal. She was injured by the animal. But when Li Senshi and Jiwa arrived, Jiwa saw that Sang Xiao was unconscious, and he assumed that Chang Yi killed Sang Xiao. So he was very angry with her. Chang Yi told Jiwa that only by stabbing Winsong's third eye could the war be stopped. At the same time, Na Chen, unable to withstand the glass shattering, continued to be hit by the glass shattering and fell onto the roof. Yang Jinzu was willing to protect one person. Then, Winsong's army stormed inside to kill everyone inside. Jiwa and Chang Yi continued fighting the animal. Chang Yi jumped and stabbed the animal from above. This prevented the animal from continuing to use fire. Then Jiwa went up and threatened Winsong to stop the war, but Winsong still refused to stop. When Jiwa was about to stab Winsong's eye, Winsong's sword got stuck, and he ordered Chang Yi to kill Jiwa to atone for her crime. Chang Yi refused to help completely. Even if she died when the ceremony was over, Jiwa, knowing that Chang Yi would die when the ceremony ended, hesitated greatly in stabbing the of Winsong, because if the ceremony ended, Chang Yi would die as well. At the same time, Winsong's army was preparing to kill the people, but then Chang Yi grabbed Jiwa's sword and successfully stabbed Winsong's third eye, causing all the soldiers to die one by one, including Chang Yi herself. As she died, she apologized to Jiwa. Jiwa replied that Jiwa was her home. Then Chang Yi told Jiwa that she missed Jiwa's singing very much and wanted to hear it one last time. After hearing her last request, Jiwa sang the song one last time, heartbroken, before Chang Yi disappeared. Before the song ended, Chang Yi had already disappeared, and when she died, Chang Yi's stone fell into Jiwa's hands. The army and people of Jiwa who had been shattered were all restored. When they were restored, No Chan and Yang Jin also flew to their master. After that, Yin Zhao went back to the palace to go to the place where his disciple used to play to close the place. The fact that his disciple was alive when Yin Zhao brought the shattering to play. King Suo heard it and came to see it. Then Yin Zhao transformed into a giant to kill King Suo and the three Shao-Cha-Jin, but he didn't succeed, as something blocked him. If Lord Winson were to cut off his own head and put it in a box, but Lord Winson cut off the heads of his army first, and then cut off his own head afterward, and the army didn't die either. They were magic, able to cut off their own heads without dying. Then he had the ghost army kill Winson's enemies, and then he waged war with the living army.
没想到你父亲也赶紧。
大鸟，他偷走了魔力前的剑。不，